every entrepreneur has his insecurities or her insecurities, and it's one of those things where you're like, it's fear or it's whatever it is, and on the other side of that, there's hope and there's like anticipation and excitement, and I find myself kind of just continually just ping-ponging back and forth.
Known as the biggest town you'll ever experience, with its unique historical background, Tulsa is home to a diverse range of people and businesses with a thriving economy, delicious eats, nightlife, and entertainment for all ages. Tulsa is also home to business titans, entrepreneurs, artists, and foodies. Whether you're considering a move to Tulsa or just wanting to learn more about the place you call home, the Tulsa is Home podcast is for you.
Welcome to another episode of the Tulsa is Home podcast. Today we have a first, which actually is a repeat interview, but it's not. It's not what you think. It's actually we're gonna have this one released before
the original,
the original
yeah,
one,
yeah.
And so we're gonna have some links below where we can, Josh Juarez, Josh's Snow Shack, and so that link will take you to the interview for that. Hear a little bit more about your story and background, how that got started.
Yeah.
One thing I really like about that interview, you talk about the time that you really understood that you weren't selling shaved ice, but you were selling the summer experience.
Yeah.
And that was a mind shift for you that really helped take off. And so it's really cool. So go check that out. And when it's released, which will probably be March, maybe April of the spring, we're going to time it.
This is just a teaser for that.
Yeah, we're gonna time it for the summer opening.
Cool.
But today we're talking about Courts and Commons, which I'm really excited about because it's a South Tulsa deal.
Yes.
So South Tulsa, sometimes we get left out.
Yeah, that's right.
With events and fun opening places, so restaurants and stuff. So we're pumped about it. And I'm going to just hand it off to you to where you just tell us about Courts and Commons, the concept of it, and I'll hop in with questions.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, I mean, like you said in the previous podcast, we talked about my story and kind of my history in Tulsa, so we won't go all into that, but like you said, one of the big takeaways was there was a point in Josh's Snow Shack in that journey in which I realized what I was actually selling, and that was, yes, the summer experience. And so over the last 20 years now, we've operated and owned Josh's. About 2.5 years ago, I started dreaming up a new concept, and it was just an idea that I had about, creating something really great for South Tulsa that was similar to things in other big cities. And we have a lot of great stuff in Tulsa in general, but a lot of that's focused kind of Brookside, Cherry Street, and downtown. And even people who live South Tulsa, we find ourselves going there to eat, play, and entertain. So, I live south, I always have, and I thought up this, there's a few other concepts across the country. Like there's a chicken and pickle, which is basically pickleball in a restaurant. And there's other concepts throughout the U.S. Like there's a place called the Flight Club, and it's darts and a bar, but it's like interactive darts. And then you have these bocce bar concepts. It's like this whole eatertainment movement. And so Courts and Commons is 100% in the vein of eatertainment in that classification. But what it really is on the surface, and it's like just in a nutshell, if you had to describe it, it's pickleball courts meets food hall. And I think Mother Road Market just won, I think, like the award for the best food hall in the U.S., which is awesome. And I'm a big fan of that. And me and my family go there quite a bit. And my love for it also kind of birthed this idea of like there could be more. When you go to OKC, I think there's like 4 food halls there. You go to Denver, Dallas, really anywhere, and there's 4, 5, 6 different food halls all within 15-mile radius. And so I think the need for that type of experience for people is needed. and there's not a lot of local food in South Tulsa. So my thought was, could we create a small kind of micro food hall in South Tulsa and then offer indoor pickleball courts and a really great space for families and people to kind of hang out. And that's what Courts and Commons is. It's kind of the answer to that need of, or that question of like, what are we going to do in South Tulsa tonight, or where are we going to eat, or where are we going to go for our party, or where are we going to go as a family. It kind of answers that question.
Awesome.
And so that's what it is in a nutshell.
What kind of food options?
So there's going to be there's 4 restaurant concepts and a full bar. One of the restaurant concepts is called Backcourt Kitchen. That's like a gastropub, modern American food. And then one of their other restaurants is called El Coyote Guapo, which is like Latin fusion, kind of, Mexican food meets flavors from Brazil and Peru and Cuba, and so just kind of Latin food as opposed to just like Tex-Mex. And that's kind of that concept. There's a sourdough pizza restaurant called Moonrise Sourdough, and it's just sourdough crust only, and some really kind of funky, like unique pizzas. And then there's a smoothie place, and then the full bar that we have.
Cool.
So all those will be open. They'll probably stagger as they open, and it's all local, and so it's kind of neat to see those things launch as well.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So I've had a little bit of a sneak peek here and there, and so it's a tee-up question. What other things are there to do in the space?
Yeah, so I mean, hopefully our website is getting like finalized right now, so probably by the time this goes out, you'll be able to see a lot of that. And then Instagram we're trying to be more active on that and just kind of tell the story of what's happening and get more pictures, more like in the last hopefully 30 days of construction. And so that should be getting updated more frequently. But really, like, there's like I said, 8 indoor pickleball courts. There's garage doors where that is, and that goes out towards an actual 45 by 75 foot turf space, and an outdoor patio and an upstairs patio overlooking a big pond there. And so there's a really, really big outdoor space for families to hang out, a lot of shade. And then inside, there's actually an upstairs mezzanine area that overlooks those 8 pickleball courts. Underneath the mezzanine, there's a green kind of putting area. It's more like sitting, and it's meant to feel like you're outside, but you're inside. So outdoor patio furniture and TVs and stuff like that. And then in the food hall area, there's just lots of seating, and then we are in the process of getting this, basically what you'd say like the Top Golf for darts. So it's interactive. It's more meant to be family fun or just party fun, as opposed to like professional darts players. But it's like real darts, real cork board, but with little cameras all around it, so you can kind of play mini games and things like that. So we'll have a couple of those upstairs, and it should just be a space that you can go and like set up somewhere and probably get some work done, hopefully, or come for your birthday or come for just date night. We'll have a lot of different programming in the pickleball side of things, and then a lot of different social events, community events as well. So something we have teed up is we're going to do like a big, hopefully it'll be like the biggest Connect Four tournament in Tulsa's history or something like that. So we're going to have those big Connect Fours and do a big tournament, on the lawn once it warms up. So we have a lot of stuff like that planned. We want it to be a very interactive communal space.
Cool.
And so it's a lot, but we're excited to be able to offer it.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, the more I hear about it, the more excited I get.
Yeah.
What's like the one piece that you're just like really excited about, whether it's one of the restaurants or the pickleball or?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question, because I haven't, as an entrepreneur or as a creator, your brain is just like, it's so fragmented at times, and you're kind of like, you've got your hand in this, you got your hand in this, you're thinking about this, and it just kind of, you're like in a pinball machine.
Oh, yeah.
And so I haven't had the chance to think about the one thing. I think probably like the big thing, or the thing that I look most forward to, is seeing or what I hope to see the vision fulfilled. And that is that, let's call it a Friday night, there's hundreds of people in that space, and they're having a really great experience that they hopefully remember for a long time. If that happens, I'll be really happy. If I show up on any random night and there's a lot of people there hanging out, enjoying the space, and then I'll be feeling like I succeeded.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So how many different people have been involved with this?
Yeah.
I feel like this is a really big project.
Yeah, I mean, and it's bigger than I ever thought it would be, and maybe like that's the message for entrepreneurs. Like you jump into something, and you probably know this is that, and you're like, oh, on the surface, like I got this, and then you get into it, and you're like, no, I don't have this. And
but you're gonna plow through anyway.
You're gonna figure it out. You're gonna climb out of it. And I think I've hit that wall many times, and every time I hit it, I'm very, very fortunate to have people, even like you and your wife, who've stepped in a big way and helped with the design of everything. So there's one group that has to everyone who's listening, if you walk in that space and you appreciate the beauty of it, it's because of his wife, probably.
Yes.
And so having folks like you has been nice. And then, I mean, when it comes to people, we have everyone from, the investors to the dreamers to the visionaries, and then to the management, to the people that are like going to be kind of boots on the ground there every day, making sure the vision is fulfilled. So quite a few people and a lot of hours in that space. Just like, I probably go there every day for a good 30 minutes. I just like do this, and it's like my brain's processing like, okay, that's gonna be there, that's gonna work, like, and I've done that hundreds of times where I'm just like, I'm not getting anything done, but I am like conceptualizing and making sure that we're doing it all right.
Cool.
So yeah, but
that's
a lot
awesome.
of people, to answer your question.
So you have 8 courts.
Yes.
Are there tournaments that you? How does that work with pickleball? Are there like national tournaments that you can like sign up to host, or like?
Yeah,
do you have a vision for that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Like I have an individual who's kind of like our GM. His name's Lance Courtney. He's kind of in the pickleball world. So I'm not like a pickleball expert. I enjoy playing a lot, and I'm okay, but I really enjoy it more for the social element of it, and I'm very competitive, so you can kind of like have social and then you can go in the next and be really competitive. So I think it's great for that. But on that note of like tournaments, like there are big tournaments, and we will host probably one a year that the entire facility will get rented out by a tournament organizer, and it'll be either like, there's I think called MILP and then MLP, which is Major League Pickleball. So maybe we can host a tournament, because we actually have a really, really good facility for hosting something like that. Because we have the upstairs viewing, the downstairs viewing, we could actually bring some more chairs in and make it a really cool viewed space. And then because we have all the restaurants, it should be able to feed people, and our space can hold, I want to say, 450 people. So it should be able to host quite a big group. So yeah, they do have those, and then we are gonna have 6 to 8 week like leagues and tournaments and things like that. So league play will happen on a couple nights a week, and that will be kind of a consistent kind of thing happening. During the day, we're gonna have women's programming, men's programming, things like just like women's leagues at a certain level. So like in tennis, there's ratings, just same in pickleball, there's ratings. So 3-0 to 3-5 and all that. So we'll have very rated specific leagues, and then what we call like ladders, which is just like you show up and you play, and if you do well, you go to the next court. If you do well, if you go back, and you just kind of, that way you kind of play against people your level.
Yeah.
And then
does that happen is that a one night event, or is that a league?
So that ladder, the ladders will happen probably once a week, where it's like, hey, intermediate ladder on Thursday at 6 p.m. And then maybe it'll be beginner ladder, at 1 o'clock on a Tuesday or whatever. It's like, we realize, I mean, I think if anything since COVID, people have very different work schedules than they once did. And so we're hoping that we're able to keep the court somewhat busy during the days, because that is a big part of our business model is the ability to keep them busy during the days. And so we'll have a very small membership program, and then we will have, like I said, all the tournaments, leagues, and then we'll probably do 10 to 12 monthly like events, like one event a month, and 4 of those will be really, really big. And so when I say that, I mean like they'll probably be like next year at Thanksgiving, either, you know, bash, it'll probably be the day before or of or after, like something really cool that it might, for me, what I envision for that is like a family event where it's like you have to have someone in each age category and you have to all play together, and it's the family that does the best. That's I think that'd be really neat. Because pickleball is so easy to play with your 10-year-old, like, or with your 50-year-old, you know, mom or grandmother. Or there's not many grandmas that are 50, maybe 70-year-old grandmother's a better way to put it. But regardless, like you could play with someone who's a little bit older or younger, and it's like it works. So I think that like for that, that's kind of what I see for like the Thanksgiving event. And then we'd have like a New Year's event, Valentine's, we'll do like a couples event. So we'll have monthly events that will be, you know, you and Jennifer could show up and just play as a couple. And then we'll have something that's like, hey, it's going to be, I mean, even when I was getting in the car, I was like, I was reading about it's called like Founders League or something like that. And it's the idea that, you know, back in the day, people used to go to networking things. They go to lunches, and it's like, you meet other entrepreneurs. But this is actually like you just play sports with other entrepreneurs. Cool. Or you play... Yeah. And I'm like, that fits my personality more than like, nice to meet you, let's sit at a table. Yeah. And I was like, I bet we could do Entrepreneur League, you know? And it's like, if you're an entrepreneur, if you own a business in Tulsa, you can join this league, and it's the middle of the day where it's like a lot of entrepreneurs can get away like that, you know? They can be flexible. So things like that, like we're going to try to be, like I said, very... communal and social kind of focus. Cool. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Man, I get more excited every time.
I love it,
every time we talk about it.
I love it. Well, and it's one of those deals where it's like, and you can attest to this, like every entrepreneur has his insecurities or her insecurities, and it's one of those things where you're like, it's fear or it's whatever it is. And on the other side of that, there's hope and there's like anticipation and excitement, and I find myself kind of just continually just ping-ponging back and forth.
Depends on the day. Depends on the hour of the day.
I know. Give me 10 minutes and I'll be in a different state. Yeah. But no, it really is. So I have times where I'm like, holy cow, this thing. I mean, when you walk it, you're like, this is so big. And
but then you're talking about all the things after. Like building it is one thing, but then you gotta maintain it.
Exactly.
You know, then you have not just the building, but the leagues and the events and there's a lot going on all the time.
Well, and I think that's the thing. I have people who come through and they're like, holy cow, this is gonna be so busy, and I'm like, I pray it is. It needs to be because it was not cheap to build, but it does. It's gonna take execution has to be right to make it work, and I really do think we have a strong team, and we're trying to find more strong players to join that team. But so far, we have a really good base, and I think if they deliver what I believe they can deliver, then everything's going to be, it'll be a good space. So, yeah.
Awesome. So we're launching this or releasing this episode sometime in December. And I know you probably don't have an actual opening day. Yeah. But how do we follow along? And we're going to be announcing stuff on Tulsa Daily and releasing that. But
so, yeah, I mean, on Instagram and our website and on, we should be on, every social platform within the next few days, making sure that's more active. So we should get a lot more active over the next few days. But keeping up with, the exact opening day, if you follow us on Instagram, that's probably going to be the easiest way to do it. Or if you just go to our website, every day. But we have subscribers. I think on our website, we need to make sure, we just switched it over. But you can subscribe to our mailing list, and we'll send out a big thing there and just say, hey, this is what's going on, and when it's happening. So, yeah, that will probably be the best way to follow. And like I said, we're hoping to be, before Christmas, in an ideal world, we could do a couple soft openings, and that's what we're shooting for. And so we'll do that a few different ways. We'll probably do 3. We'll probably do 1 soft opening for an influencers event. So anyone who's on social media, TikTok or YouTube or whatever it is in Tulsa that has a decent size following, they'll get to come. And then we'll do probably a friends and family. So if you know me personally, or you're a friend of mine, then we'll do that event. And then we might do one more paid soft opening where it's a VIP type of deal. Cool. Where it's you get to come out, you pay, it's a prepaid ticket, and that'll be that. So
And you have to be nice to the staff.
yes, no matter what. On the first time, and you come. Well, and it's funny. I was talking to a buddy who's in marketing. He's like, you need to just before you open, just get in front of a camera and say, hey, we're gonna probably mess this up.
Yeah.
A couple times.
That's part
so
of
just
it.
give us grace.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that's the thing is that like if you go to a new business and you're expecting it to be the most amazing thing ever, then like you got your expectations wrong.
Yeah.
But because it's like we're not a mega corporation. Like we are a small startup that is doing a big thing, and I think that's kind of what I'm most realizing is it's not easy.
Yeah.
So yeah. But
absolutely.
yeah. So.
Well, good deal. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks
absolutely,
for coming
man.
on, and we will have. We're going to do the walkthrough. We're going to be posting that on Tulsa Daily and our social.
Sweet.
And so people get a little sneak peek there.
I love it.
And yeah, appreciate your time.
Cool,
We're
man.
excited.
All right,
So,
thanks, dude.
all right.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.